It's time to pick my February TBR. In January, I picked 4 books, which was less than I had picked in the past, but that actually worked really well for me. It was a lot more manageable. I was able to read other books that I wanted to get to as well, but still prioritize my monthly TBR. So I'm gonna pick 4 books again for February. The first prompt, I'm gonna try and get one from the bottom. I did mix these up. I go through them every month and switch out the prompts, mix them up. Match the current season. I was kind of hoping to get a prompt like this because I do have a book in mind that I feel like would be great to read in the winter time. It is fully snowing outside. There's been a huge snowstorm and we got over a foot of snow. So honestly, this will be perfect. And the book is a hockey romance. Collide. I've been seeing this book everywhere. The cover looks cute, which I know you shouldn't base a book on its cover, but it does have a very cute cover. And I feel like what better time to read a hockey romance than when it's super snowy outside, the middle of winter. This will be perfect, and this fits the prompt so well. I've just been in the mood to get to this book, so I was hoping I could get it on the TBR. She's an ambitious student and he's a jock who's focused only on hockey. He's the captain of the team. She wants to be a sports psychologist and he's forced to be a participant in a research study that she's doing. And so at the beginning, they bicker a lot, and then their bickering turns into bantering, which I love. This will be so cute. So first pick for February, Collide. That was easy peasy. On to the next one. This one is Enemies to Lovers. All right, I'm gonna have to look through some of these books and look at their synopsises to figure this out. All right, I picked 3 Enemies to Lovers options. The first of which is The Cruel Prince, which is a romantasy between Jude and Prince Carden. She's human and he's fae, and she wants to belong, but many of the fae despise humans, especially Prince Carden, the youngest and wickedest son of the High King. So that definitely sounds like they're enemies to me. Next, I have Hooked. This is a dark romance. It's a twist on Peter Pan, and it's a romance between James, who's Hook, and Wendy. In this, James' enemy is Peter Pan, of course, and Wendy is Peter's daughter. So they're enemies by familial relation. And his plan, James' plan, is to use Wendy for revenge on Peter. But of course, desire starts to build between them. So they start as enemies though. And then I have Mate. And this is a paranormal romance. It's the sequel to Bride, but it follows different characters. And in this, Serena is a human werewolf hybrid. And then Cohen is the alpha of his werewolf pack. And they are mates, but Serena does not reciprocate his feelings. I feel like that's less of them being full-blown enemies and more so unreciprocated love at first. But that's kind of how a lot of Enemies to Lovers is, so I feel like that fits it. Which one to choose? The Cruel Prince is on my 26th in 2026. Mate would be continuing a series that I've already started. Hooked is part of a series. They're all interconnected standalones, and I have not read any of them. So this would just be kind of like a standalone book. I just read a dark romance, and I actually did not like it at all. I mean, I don't want to say I didn't like it at all. It wasn't my favorite. I rated it 2.5 stars. So I don't know that I want another dark romance right now. Between The Cruel Prince and Mate. Start a series or continue a series? I think The Cruel Prince has 3 or 4 books. I'm reading A Court of Silver Flames right now, which has fae, and I wonder if reading The Cruel Prince after would be too much fae. So I'm more inclined to choose Mate by Ali Hazelwood. That's what I'm gonna go with for pick number 2, Enemies to Lovers. We've got our first 2 picks. Prompt number 3. It is Title Has a Number in It. These are all good prompts. I took out a lot of the boring prompts that were kind of just different color for the cover. I kept some of them, but those and then a bunch of titles starting with different letters, I took most of those out just because those ones get repetitive. So I like that I'm drawing some more unique prompts. Title Has a Number. Ooh, yay. That one's a fun one. I feel like that one's fun because it narrows it down so much. So many of these prompts, I feel like I have a lot of freedom to choose, which is a good thing because I can pick what I'm really in the mood for. But it is fun when it really narrows it down for me, and then it takes the mental load out of picking what I'm gonna read next. All right, what has a number? The 7-year slip, the 100. I looked at everything. There are some others, but these 2 are the ones I'd be most inclined to read. So which one do I want to read the most? 7-year slip is a romance, and there's magic involved in the sense that the 2 love interests live in different parts of time. I don't know if there's any other magic, but that's the premise of the book. They live 7 years apart in time. The 100, this is the book that my favorite TV show is based on. I've actually heard pretty poor things about the book itself. I feel like I would just be reading this one more so for curiosity's sake, not really having high expectations. And this is sci-fi. I'm flipping through this one and I honestly feel like it'll probably be so cringy. The TV show really went off and did its own thing, very different from the book. One of the perspectives in this book isn't even in the TV show. I've actually tried to read this once and I DNF'd it, so maybe better to put the 7-year slip on my TBR. I feel like the premise sounds kind of cute. It might be a good one to read in the winter with kind of the magical vibe to it. I've also bought this one more recently. I have higher hopes for it. So 3rd pick for Title Has a Number in It, we're doing the 7-year slip. I'm feeling good about this TBR so far. So on to the last prompt. Oh gosh, I drew so many prompts. There's 2 tucked inside of each other. Okay. Brown cover. Right as I was saying that I took all the prompts with different colors for the cover out of the jar, but I did say I left some of them. If I had a decent amount of books for that prompt and I haven't done that specific color yet, then I left it in the jar. I feel like the colors for the covers are more interesting than the prompts where it's just a title starts with a different letter. I just get so tired of those. There's 26 letters, so there's a lot of those prompts. Or there was. They're all gone now. Ooh, brown cover, The Will of the Many. That is a brown cover. This is a thick book though. This is the start of a fantasy series. The description of it kind of reminded me a lot of Red Rising, but instead of sci-fi, it's fantasy. How many pages is this book? Over 600. That's not as bad as it looks, actually. I feel like a lot of books nowadays look a lot smaller and then end up having a ton of pages, whereas this one looks huge and I feel like accurately looks like a 600-page book. I would probably guess this was more like 700 or 800 pages, actually. 600 pages would definitely be manageable. A lot, but I could do it. February is the shortest month of the year though, so putting a very long book on my monthly TBR does kind of intimidate me. But at least we're only choosing 4 books. So if I pick this one, it would be the last one on the TBR. And the other ones that I picked are all romance and all relatively short, since romance typically isn't a super long genre. It is kind of funny though, side by side. This one book is the equivalent of 2 or 3 of the other books that I picked. That's kind of just how fantasy and sci-fi go though. The other brown cover that I'm seeing is Shield of Sparrows. This is a romantasy, also kind of a long book. Let's see how many pages this one has. It's shorter. It's about 500 pages. Not much shorter, but that is a 100-page difference. I feel like I want to pick this one. I'm just scared by how long it is. Should I do it? I don't know though. This one's about magic and legends and different kingdoms, being a princess, your basic romantasy, I guess, but I feel like I'm kind of interested in that too. Because this one reminds me of Red Rising so much, just based on the description, I kind of feel like I should finish that series before starting this one. I am gonna go with Shield of Sparrows because it's shorter and they both honestly interest me. So for brown cover, this is my fourth and final pick for February. All right, here are the 4 books on my monthly TBR. We have Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry, The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston, Mate by Allie Hazelwood, and Collide by Bal Cabra. I feel like this is a good grouping of books to be reading in a winter month. February is like the coldest month, at least in Ohio. I mean, seriously, look how snowy and cold it is outside. I think the wind chill tomorrow is supposed to be negative 24 degrees. Very cold. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see me read these books and hear what I think about them. I'll see you in the next one.